Hello students, this is Chintan Patel from the Mechanical and Automobile Department of LJ University. In this video, we are going to look at the welding practicals. So, among the welding practicals, particularly we are learning today SMAW practical. SMAW is the abbreviation for the shielded metal arc welding. So basically it is the arc welding practical which we are going to learn in the upcoming slides. So to get started with, we will start with our particular learning with the aim of the practical. The aim is to join the metal plates or any metal components together using the shielded metal arc welding. So what kind of different types of a joint you can perform are explained in this particular figure. As you can see over here, we have also seen this figure in different other types of the welding, and basically all the joints which are represented over here can be made using the shielded metal arc welding. Why it is named as a shielded metal arc welding? Because the arc which is produced over here and the metal which is being melted and filled between the gaps of the metal components is shielded with particular type of the flux. So that is required to be understood before starting the practical, and that's why we are starting it with the theoretical portion. So we need to understand the different apparatus that are required to perform this practical. So the first thing that you need to understand are these instruments which can be used to perform this practical, and as you can see, these are the different SMAW tools which I will be explaining like this. This one is the helmet which will help you to save yourself from the intensity of the arc. The second one is the surface cleaner. This one is the hammer, eyeglasses, gloves, material which is required to be joined together, and this is our negative or earthing or negative terminal of the electricity supply. So electricity will be supplied over here as a negative terminal. So now you will be seeing this as a positive terminal. This is our positive terminal, and while making the contact this positive terminal to the negative terminal, we will be seeing different types of the arc, and that arcs will generate the welding or will create the heat sufficient to melt down the metal. So basically this is our electrode. Electrode can be seen over here like this in my hand over here. This is our electrode which is inserted into this particular holder which is our positive terminal, and that is why this electrode is inserted over here. Electrode is basically a metal electrode which we will be seeing in a minute. First you need to understand this supply control unit. This is the electricity supply control unit where you will be seeing different types of the settings which can be utilized, which can be changed according to our requirement. This is our electrode. So basically, as you can see, this electrode is a flux coated electrode. As you can see, this portion is the pure metallic portion. This portion is the pure metallic portion, and from now on up to the tip of the electrode, the entire electrode is coated with the flux. Now what is this flux? The flux is the material, or the flux will help you to cover the melted portion of the metal, and which will prevent the oxidation of the high temperature melted portion, and that is why it will help you to maintain the strength of the welded joint. So that is why flux is required, and flux is provided with the coating of the electrode directly. Now flux coated electrode is represented like this, and now we are going to understand the working principle of the shielded metal arc welding. So as you can see, this is the schematic diagram of the shielded metal arc welding, and this is the weld that we need to produce using this particular welding. As you can see, this is our metal electrode core wire which is coated with the coating of the flux, and as this electrode contains the electricity charge, because it is connected with the positive terminal, and these metals are placed on the negative terminal. As soon as this positive and negative, this positive and this negative both are connected together or both comes into contact with each other, then this will create the spark or this will create the arc. So basically, as you can see over here, these are the arcs that are being generated over here, and due to the arc and the heating of the electrode itself will be melted over, and that melted electrode will generate a welding joint over here like this. So this hatched portion represent the molten or the melted electrode which is being used for as a filler material and for the welding purpose. So this flux coating will help you to create the fumes like this surrounding the welding like this, and that fumes will be generated due to the gaseous shield. This shield will prevent the oxidation of the weld, and that is why this will help you to increase the strength of the weld. So basically it will create a slug or the slag, whatever you want to pronounce. A slug will be generated over the welding like this, which will help you to maintain the strength of the weld. So this is how this particular arc welding is being performed. Basically it is the arc welding, but it is known as the SMAW, which is shielded metal arc welding. And now we are going to understand the actual practical by performing it in this next part of the video. This is the setup for the shielded metal arc welding, and we are going to learn each and every apparatus that is required to perform this particular welding method. So as you can see over here, so basically this is a helmet which will help you to save your own eyes. Another is our one type of a hammer which will be used to avoid or to remove the flux coating. This is the hand gloves using which we are going to perform the practical. This is our eyeglasses which will save your own eyes from the arc intensity. This is our material. Material is basically from the MS material which is required to be welded, and this is our thickness. Ideally we are going to weld this material right now, and you can weld any thickness of the material using this particular welding. Now as you can see, this is our earthing. And earthing means we are going to connect this with the negative terminal of the machineries which is providing our current, and these are our electrodes. Electrodes are used to pass on the current from this particular machinery. There are different types of electrodes available, as you can see over here. So basically we are going to use this 10 number electrodes which is having the 90 to 130 ampere current specification, and these are also another types of the electrodes available, and our electrodes is based on the number of 10. So I am going to pull out this one electrode so that you guys can understand. So this is basically an electrode using which we are going to transfer the current from through our metal plates, which is required to be welded. Electrode is coated with the flux coating. So as you can see, this is our metal electrode, and which is coated with the flux which is represented over here like this. So our flux coating will also burn with the arc generated through this machine. So why this flux is provided, that is also explained in our theory, but yet I am going to repeat that, because this as this flux is melted along with the electrode, it will shield the particular welding, and it will avoid the oxidation of the welded material or the filler material, which will weaken your welded joint, right? And that is why we are trying to use this flux coated electrodes. So basically these electrodes is the one which we are going to use right now. Another is our positive terminal. So this is our positive terminal which is also connected to our machinery, and we are going to use this electrode into this particular positive terminal. So through this positive terminal, electrode will be having the current which is transferred from the machinery, and as we can see, if we touch this electrode to this metal plates, then it will close the circuit, and through this circuit closing we are going to generate the arc which will perform the welding procedure. So basically these are the terminals and these are the apparatus that you need to understand. It is also advisable to use a welding apron, which is something like this, which will help you to save your own self from the arcs and the intensity of the arcs, and it is as well advisable to use that particular safety equipment. So now we are going to understand the machine which is providing the current for the shielded metal arc welding. So we have supplied it through the supply over here, and as you can see, this is a AC machine, alternative current machine, which also have a DC inverter, so that you can also utilize this this machine through the DC current. So we have our negative terminal and the positive terminal, which I have already explained to you guys, that negative terminal goes with the earthing and the positive terminal goes with the electrode. Now as you can see, here is the current meter. Through this knob you can adjust the current according to your thickness of the metal, and here is the arc force. Basically, as you adjust the current, it will automatically adjust the arc force. You do not require to adjust this arc force through this knob, but still, if the specific requirement occurs, then you can also adjust the arc force through this knob. Here is the voltage meter, and here is the current meter, and this one is the voltage meter. So as soon as you adjust the current, the voltage will automatically adjust it, and you do not require to adjust the voltage separately. So these are the settings of the machineries, and now we are going to understand the working of the shielded metal arc welding. So the helmet which is used over here is basically a digital type of a helmet, and it is advisable to use this type of a helmet because it will allow you to adjust the lightings, and it will also allow you to adjust the thickness and the gapping between the material. Now as you can see, the electrode is connected with the positive terminal, and now we are going to start the close the circuit and generate the arc. So as you can see, the arc is being generated. And the arc is directed between the gap of the material, and the filler material is being filled between this gap, so that both the plates will be welded together. Basically, this is one type of a butt joint welding. We can also use a overlapping welding. And now you can see the complete welded joint with the filler material, as you can see. So it will cool down after some time, and you can remove the flux coating like this. We can remove the flux coating like this and clean our surface for the final finishing. So this is how the shielded metal arc welding is performed. According to our requirement, we can also perform some finishing operations like grinding and finishing arc. But the basic operation of the shielded metal arc welding is explained like this.